Let's watch George Stephanopoulos instead.
Agreed to the release of the search warrant of his Mar-a-Lago home, as we're learning a lot more about what the Justice Department was looking for. Our chief Washington correspondent, John Carl, tracking it all. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. Trump's decision not to challenge the release of that search warrant and related documents came just hours before a deadline set by a federal judge, and it means we may soon learn more about what those federal agents were looking for. Just hours after the Justice Department filed for the Mar-a-Lago search warrant to be unsealed, Trump announced he would not oppose the release. The former president issuing a statement saying he was, quote, encouraging the immediate release of those documents, although his lawyers already have them and could have already released them if he wanted. This is the Washington.
This is the point, right? This is the main point. This is the main point. Like, they keep follow complete list of House and Senate Republicans on here, and they have basically gone dark. 40-ish minutes since the Post broke the story. Only tweets are, what look to my trained eye like scheduled content on the inflation. Oh, wait, here's one. Attorney General Garland. Oh, yeah. Every Republic, we're going to look at this. We're going to look at this in a second. This is a great way to fucking analyze exactly how well these motherfuckers work. They get in line, they wait for their talking points, and then they start distributing it. Boom! It wasn't an accident. It was not an accident that all of a sudden you started hearing Banana Republic, Banana Republic, Banana Republic. Like, those motherfuckers had trained. I saw a tweet that was so funny. It's so true. They had trained for this moment like the BBC is trained for the Queen's death. You know what I mean? They had their fucking talking points so ready. Banana Republic, FBI's being political. How the fuck could they do this? Like, they popped off. Every single person said the exact same thing. Cross the Rubicon. Banana Republic. What are they doing? Okay. They all started saying America was a third world country. I started seeing it everywhere. Yeah, this is a third world country. This is a third world country. Which it is. It is a third world country, so we're going to get to that. Let me just fucking, oh God, there's so much. Let's just start here.
Washington Post is reporting that among the information sought by federal agents at Mar-a-Lago were classified documents related to nuclear weapons. Perhaps the most telling detail in the DOJ filing on unsealing the warrant was who signed it, the chief of the counterintelligence section of the DOJ National Security Division, a clear indication the investigation is related to classified information with national security implications. Sources tell ABC News that investigators were also looking for material labeled, quote, special access, which is only available to a limited number of individuals with the highest level of security clearance. Under intense pressure to explain the FBI's operation at Mar-a-Lago, Attorney General Garland Thursday took the rare step of publicly commenting on an ongoing investigation.
I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this.
I love these. Like, yeah, it's me. God, they're such fucking dildo nerds too. But God damn it, I love it, dude. I love watching these fucking nerds pop off. Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's me. I'm him. I'm him. That's me. What is a dildo nerd? I mean, they're just like, they're dildos. Like, they're just fucking, I don't know. They're so nerdy. They're like, yeah, I'll push some papers. Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I'm him. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used the... I don't know. The juxtaposition of someone like fucking... The juxtaposition of someone that looks like Merrick Garland being like, yeah, I did this. That was me. I'm the guy is funny.
This matter.
Yeah, I'm pushing papers. I'm pushing pencils. I'm pushing
pee. Take such a decision lightly.
In fact, ABC News has learned Trump was subpoenaed for the documents earlier this year.
Fuck!
DOJ attempted...
Too much happening! Fuck!
And another is listed as information regarding the president of France. And then in terms of the documents that are labeled classified, and this is from the receipt of property, the list of things that the FBI said they took, which is signed by a lawyer for Donald Trump and by an FBI special agent. Among the list of things they said they took was a designation of documents called various classified TS-SCI documents. That stands for top secret, sensitive, compartmented information. That's a very high level of classification beyond top secret. What it refers to is information that's so secret that you can only see it if you have a need to know within the U.S. government. And then the FBI says they took 4 sets of top secret documents, 3 sets of secret documents, and 3 sets of confidential documents. There's also an attachment, Tom, that explains, it's part of the warrant that explains what the FBI told the judge they were seeking before they got there. And this has some very interesting language in it, because it says that the FBI was seeking any physical documents with classification markings, along with any containers or boxes in which such documents are located. It also asked for information, including communications in any form, regarding the retrieval, storage, or transmission of national defense information or classified material, any government or presidential records created between January 2017 and January 20th, 2021, or any evidence of the knowing alteration, destruction, or concealment of any government or presidential records or any documents with classification markings. And lastly, Tom, there's another attachment in which the FBI describes the areas of the property where it will search and where it won't search. It talks about how Mar-a-Lago is a mansion with approximately 58 bedrooms and 33 bathrooms on a 17-acre estate. And the FBI says that they were going to search an area called the 45 office, all storage rooms, and all other rooms or areas.
This is how motherfuckers on. This is how the Twitter left thinks I live, by the way.
F. POTUS, the former president of the United States, and his staff, in which boxes or documents could be stored, including all structures or buildings on the estate.
Twitter anarchists be like, "Oh, that's Hassan's house. Hassan's house is probably larger than Trump's. Actually, we should kill Hassan first.
Members.
That's how we'll bring about the revolution.
Otherwise, not used by the former president. So it was a targeted search. They seized classified documents. They seized documents labeled regarding the president of France. And what's not in here, Tom, is any reference to nuclear material or any label of any kind that describes what these classified materials are. And that would make sense, because the FBI is not going to specifically lay out the nature of classified documents.
And Ken, the reason why you say that is because there's a Washington Post report saying that
the
some of these
launch codes
documents
are not that
could be connected to
significant. You
nuclear
can't fucking
issues,
do anything.
and
The
that
launch
was some of
codes
the major
change all the
reporting coming out of
time.
the Washington Post earlier
What's
today.
important
Ken,
is like more details about like our nuclear arms or nuclear details, nuclear plans.
Detailed from what you've had so far. It sounds like there was a vast set of documents they were trying to get, but I think it's important for us to explain to the viewers that these documents were not the property of Donald Trump. They were the property of the United States government, correct?
Well, that is certainly the theory of the prosecution and the theory of the FBI and the circumstances under which they seize these documents. I think the Trump team is arguing something different. They are arguing that the president had inherent declassification authority and was free to take any document he wanted from the Oval Office or the White House as long as he said it was declassified. We've spoken to historians and scholars about that, and they don't see much evidence for that point of view in the law. I mean, the president can declassify anything, but there has to be a record of it. We're told there's a process and procedure, and particularly when it comes to highly classified.
But this is the fun thing. Here's a fun thing. I love Trump's legal team, dude. The Heritage Foundation, Stimson has a different view. I love Republicans so much because this is where they thrive, right? Like they've already been dominating in the talking point game for too long. So now they have to pop off, right? This is a moment where they have to act swiftly. So what kind of legal defense have they brought up for the declassification that he just talked about? If any president decides to declassify a document, it doesn't tell anybody, but he has made the decision to declassify something, then that document is declassified, Stimson said. The Heritage Foundation, baby! Let's fucking go! He added that there's a rich debate about whether or not a document is declassified if a president has decided, but not communicated it outside of his own head. Whoa! Let's fucking go! Stop playing with me, Heritage Foundation! Let's fucking go! New talking point just dropped. These motherfuckers are crazy, dude. They're so fucking insane. He just said a president can think about declassifying and declassify a document without telling any other motherfucker, and then it doesn't matter. This is what happens when you are so hopped up on debate purgatory that you just, and you get paid $700,000 a fucking year to come up with this shit, okay? Woo! it's basically an argument that a 14-year-old would conduct, okay? A 14-year-old would literally, if a 14-year-old was caught in a situation, okay, like, this is the type of shit that they would come up with. This is the my dog ate my homework of legal jargon, okay? That's incredible. That is incredible. Are you fucking joking? Trump apparently leaked the warrant to Breitbart. The DOJ had sought to redact or shield some of the names of the agents involved. Trump took no caution. The Breitbart article has names of agents, which obviously puts a target on their back. Reprehensible. Trump needs to be stopped. Enough. Whoo! Goddamn. Shit's getting so spicy with it, dude. Shit is getting so incredibly spicy. Per the FBI search warrant, receipt signed by Trump attorney Christina Bobb, which is, you know, fake. I mean, come on. 2 first names. We saw Christina Bobb. She's like a fucking weirdo. Property to be seized includes all physical documents, records, constituting evidence, contrabands, fruits of crime, or other items illegally possessed in violation of 18 U.S.C. 793, which is the espionage one, 2071, and 1519. Now, remember, they had this the entire fucking time. When Donald Trump was claiming, like, release the documents, DOJ, release it. Release the documents. Like, they had the document. They could have done it themselves, but they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Yeah.
To get him to turn them over without a search warrant. Afterwards, a small team of FBI agents visited Mar-a-Lago in early June, meeting with Trump's lawyers about the missing White House documents. The execution of the search warrant on Monday came only after DOJ concluded Trump still had not turned over everything demanded by the subpoena.
Where possible, it is standard practice to seek less intrusive means as an alternative to a search and to narrowly scope any search that is undertaken.
Amid concern about increased threats to law enforcement officials, Garland also addressed harsh criticism of the FBI, some of it coming from prominent Republicans who have accused federal agents of going after Trump for political reasons.
I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked. The men and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants. Every day, they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights.
Sources tell ABC News that some of the material believed to be at Mar-a-Lago was so sensitive that authorities concluded that they needed to take possession of it immediately.
Let's get a little more on that, John, right now. When we're talking about these documents, we certainly believe that these are documents way beyond top secret.
Yeah, at least 2 levels above top secret. It's something called Special Access Programs Intelligence. SAP intelligence, George, is the ultimate need-to-know intelligence in the federal government. Material is only classified as SAP if it's believed that the revelation, the making public of that information would lead the country to be highly vulnerable. So this is really the ultimate classified intelligence, not even, you know, it's material that very few people in the federal government would have access to.
John Carl, thanks very much. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. So, Dan, it appears that Donald Trump is not going to object, and we don't know for sure until we hear from his lawyer. So what are we going to learn? What are we going to see when the judge does allow this release?
The most important thing we're going to see is exactly what crimes they were investigating. There's going to be some housekeeping matters. The address. Exactly what types of items that they're allowed to go in there to try to find. Maybe even exactly where in the house they expect to find that stuff. But it is the specific crimes that become the most informative, although we are starting now to get all this information in, and so the crimes may not be that surprising.
But we're not going to see this entire affidavit that lays out the case.
Damn, bro, they're going to fucking dox Trump.
The judge that this is probable cause of a crime.
Correct. So you got 2 separate things. The affidavit is basically the argument from the government as to why they ought to get it. The search warrant itself is the thing when you arrive at the house to inform the person inside the house, here's why we're here, here's what we have a legal right to do. And remember that in a typical search warrant, you don't want to tell the person everything that you know in a possible criminal investigation.
I mean, it doesn't even fucking matter. There was a subpoena. Like, there was literally a fucking subpoena. They wanted to take these, they wanted to retrieve these documents in a way that was like amicable, in a way that didn't actually cause a scene because it's Donald Trump. You know what I mean? And they just didn't do it. So of course it got to this fucking point. Of course it got to this fucking point. And I don't even know, like, I don't even know what to say about it other than, like, what do you think was going to happen? That's the funniest part about this. The funniest part about the story is that the FBI, being the annoying, like, arm of capital that they always have been, most likely, given what Merrick Garland has said, tried to use the least invasive avenues that they could before coming to this. Okay? And obviously, because of the fucking level of entitlement from these motherfuckers, they were like, nah, fuck that. Try me. You know what I mean? Fuck that. It's fine. And that's why we're at this point now. It's like, so the idea that, like, Republicans are up in arms about it, the idea that Republicans are up in arms about this, saying, like, this is so incredibly fucked up. How dare they? How dare they? How dare they? How dare the FBI do this? Makes it additionally funny when it basically, like, they didn't want it to get to this point. You know what I mean? Like, they could have taken the documents silently, quietly, conducted an investigation, and probably at the end, I don't even know if something as serious would come of it. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, everyone's fucking melting down at Fox because it's making it, because now they got egg on their face a little bit. You know what I mean? Because espionage is a big fucking call. Top of the hour ad break is an even bigger call, though. Donald Trump might not be able to evade the espionage charges, but you can evade the top of the hour ad break. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break, and I'm going to serve it to you. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5, or you can do for free with a Twitch Prime, of course. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite streamer. Hopefully that's me. Hopefully I'm your favorite streamer. Nobody else. I get jealous. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Okay, that's another way to avoid the ads as well. Morelli, thank you for the 10 gifted subs, allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads. And Spine Wiggle, thank you for the 5 gifted. That's probably not good for your spine if it wiggles like that. Pearl Snap ATX, thank you for the 5 gifted. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Let's take a look at some of the meltdown. D-Pipes, thank you for the 5. Some of the meltdown from Brian Kilmeade this morning. Okay, after we finish this, we're going to do that.
So you're not going to disclose everything as you would in an affidavit to the judge.
Merrick Garland, famously tight-lipped. What do you make of the fact that he came out yesterday?
Like, it's a huge move by him, and I think that he really, he forced the former president's hand in this regard. Because remember, President Trump, the former president, could have released this on his own. He had this. He didn't need the court to say, you're allowed to do it. He could have just distributed it. Now, Merrick Garland effectively saying, look, we're fine with you making this public. We're going to go to the court and ask them to unseal it. And now the former president saying that he, too, will agree to that.
And I know that...
Yeah, I mean, they had like a brief one day, like, you release it first. Like, I think that the DOJ said, we'll release it. Like, we'll ask a federal judge if we can release the details. Okay. But, like, you can just release it on your own if you want. You know what I mean? And then they did that. Trump leaked it to Breitbart. Breitbart was trying to figure out a best way to spin it. And here we are, baby. Here we fucking are. Okay? Cushbomb with a take says, putting my money down that any documents at Mar-a-Lago were kept as souvenirs to impress South Florida's most divorced plastic surgeons at the wet meat buffet. I agree. Especially because like, people are saying he's doing this for the Saudi government. He's going to sell this information to the Saudi government. That's why he was doing it. I can totally I can totally see this as being the funniest fucking reason as to why he took like classified top secret information. Okay. Some guy, it's the funniest, and therefore it's the most likely. Okay. I live in Cincinnati. Assuming you already discussed the FBI thing. Yeah, no, we have not yet. We will. Kushner just got $2 billion from Saudis. Yeah, I know. Because he's a big, beautiful boy. What are you talking about? Republicans lose their fucking minds. Republicans lose their fucking minds at Hunter Biden, but like Jared Kushner is literally not even fuckable. You know what I mean? Jared Kushner is the shittier version of Hunter Biden. I mean, he's more effective than Hunter Biden. He makes a lot more money than Hunter Biden does, obviously. But like, he sucks. Hunter Biden's at least cool. Like, you know what I mean? He bangs prostitutes all around the world. Like, he's doing crack. Like, he doesn't even do cocaine. He does crack. That's the proletarian cocaine. Okay? That is the working class man's cocaine. Okay? That's insane. How are you going to fucking... Jared Kushner, Jared Kushner's on that fucking, medicinal shit, most likely. A real lunch pail drug. Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. This guy is like... Hunter Biden's out there fucking having threesomes with the most 35-year-old looking prostitutes I've ever seen in my entire life. Which was really funny when 4chan was like, look, he has photos with his nieces. It's like, bro, have you seen the women that he was having sex with? Like, they were the most 35-year-old looking prostitutes I've ever seen in my entire life, okay? Like, not a day has gone... They were like 36, maybe. He was... 35 is fine. No, I'm not saying that as a negative. Okay? I'm 31 years old. Obviously, I don't mean that as a negative. I just think it's incredibly funny that they were like, oh, dude, he was having sex with his nieces or whatever the fuck the 4chan slant was on that. Having sex with people under 40 is kind of yikes, not gonna lie. Yeah. we need to take down Hunter Biden for the problematic age gap. Oh, okay. Every time you say women are old, chat thinks it's an insult. Yeah, that's more of a fucking, self-report than anything else. All right. Minor coded 35-year-olds, problematic, sweaty. Okay. All right, let's
Brian,
watch.
Your thoughts on the breaking news?
Well, number one, I don't see any smoking gun. I don't see any urgency. I think the thing that stood out that you guys have pointed out is if you get...
Okay, if you don't see a smoking gun and if you don't see an urgency, why did you lose your fucking mind? I know the Photoshop meme page thing. We're going to talk about that in a second. I know Brian Kilmeade did something like insane last night. Something that I would say is even too far for Fox News.
If this is an emergency to the point you break up talks, no communication since June 6th, then you have evidently, reportedly, according to some sources, June 22nd, somebody steps forward and says, I got a little problem with what they have. I got some information of what may be at Mar-a-Lago. Okay. No communication still with the Trump camp. And then we have this warrant that's issued, and you still wait 5 days, and then you do this when nobody else is around there except maybe some people that work at Mar-a-Lago. So they'll let in, the lawyers scramble, and they pull out some documents that may or may not be currently listed as top secret. And this is an emergency. This is why you go gut the house of a former president. This is why you go through Melania's clothing. This is why you leave the place and turn it upside down. He said the whole time, and communicating with the Trump camp all week, sometimes, Sandra, over the last 4 years or 5 years since he's campaigning, you'd come over there and you know that when they're tense, you know when they're angry. This time they were just flabbergasted that the government, the FBI, would come at him like.
Bro, what do you think is supposed to happen? If the FBI asks nicely to hand over documents that are top fucking secret and you don't do it, what is supposed to happen? Can someone explain to me what is supposed to happen in this situation? Because I'm truly at a fucking loss for words, okay? If you have top secret documents, okay? If you have top secret motherfucking documents in your house that you are not supposed to have, and the FBI is like, hey, can you please give us the documents? Like, don't worry about it. Like, just please give us the documents. And he's like, I don't know about that. Yeah, of course they're going to come and retrieve it. And to be fair, like, they could have retrieved it in a way worse way. They didn't even kill a single fucking dog. Think about that. Are there no dogs inside of Mar-a-Lago? They didn't kill one fucking dog. No babies were flashbanged. And these guys are in and out. They take all the fucking documents. And these guys are still crying. That's wild. To be fair, there was no dogs because Trump hates dogs.
Like this. And you just saw yesterday, if you think about it, how Merrick Garland seemed rattled in being late to make a speech that he should have given in his sleep that's on the teleprompter that takes about 5 minutes. At which time, President says, no problem, take a look, take a walk through. You took all my stuff, now tell everybody what's in it. The only thing missing is the affidavit. We'll find out.
Wait, what do you mean? The president had all the info. He could have just released it. He could have just released the information. He could have released the information from day one. He could have been like, this is why they came in. Look at how fucking unacceptable this is. And he didn't do that.
To me, if you were using logic, something has to do with with January 6th. They're trying to put that case together. They want to do it as quick as possible. They want it to slam and impact the fall elections. You got to get something. And now we hear this story about about Secret Service being asked to give up their phones. We know a Secret Service agent reportedly was this source, evidently, that saw some things in Mar-a-Lago that started this thing so aggressively for America.
Yeah, a fake Secret Service guy, bro. Dude, exactly. 150 Secret Service agents, 300 faces. You know what I'm saying? These are two-faced. They're fake friends. You cannot trust the Secret Service, folks. Fuck.
Garland and company. So something with the Secret Service and the FBI, it may be where the truth lies.
Brian, there's a broader political context to all this, of course, because we're less than 90 days.
Stealing from your chat, nah, bro. Yeah, exactly. That was probably one of the best jokes that chatters have made in this community. Any org so dedicated to keeping secrets can't be trusted? Yeah. The real secret was that they were fucking fake friends all along, dude. That was the real secret that the Secret Service kept. Even Victoria's Secret is not so indecent. You know what I'm saying?
About the Rebecca Jones raid before it happened?
What, excuse me?
Were you aware that the Rebecca Jones raid was about to happen?
I knew there was an investigation. I didn't know what they were going to... It's not a raid. I mean, with all due respect, what you just said is editorializing. Sir, excuse me.
Wait, is Rebecca Jones the fucking, the Florida state official that he personally sent in fucking cops into her house where they pulled guns on her children? Why is he saying that's not a raid? We literally have camera footage. Ron DeSantis, unironically, was caught misreporting COVID numbers by a data scientist last year or 2 years ago at this point. I don't even fucking remember. And he sent his fucking dogs, okay? His rabid dogs pulled up with the fucking stick. That was fucking 2 years ago, by the way. God damn, it's been so goddamn long. But it's wild that Ron DeSantis on the one hand is like, oh my God, I can't believe what they're doing to Donald Trump. On the other hand, he did that to his own fucking employees of the state for doing the right thing. The Trump one wasn't a fucking raid. I think the data scientist was lying. Wait, what? What are you talking about? First of all, that's not even true. But secondly, even if she was lying, what the fuck? How does that justify this, dude? Where is it? She ended up being a little crazy, but it was still way overboard. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. Even if she straight up was like, yeah, the COVID numbers are totally fucking false or whatever. Okay, which, by the way, it wasn't. Ron DeSantis was actually juicing the numbers. Unless you're talking about the footage of, like, agents coming in and blasting through the fucking doors, that being a lie. Do other countries have this borderline cult behavior political? Yes, they do. How are we supposed to trust data scientists? They went to one of those lefty universities. Wait, hold on. I want to see the fucking Rebecca thing. Yeah, here it is. Florida agents raid home of Rebecca Jones, former data scientist. There's video of it. There's literally fucking video of it.
Excuse me. I'm not going to let you get away with it. These people did their jobs. They've been smeared as the Gestapo for doing their jobs. They did a search warrant. Why did they do a search warrant on the house? Because her IP address was linked to the felony. What were they supposed to do? Just ignore it? Of course not.
Wait, can't you just use this exactly on Donald Trump? Which Donald Trump's situation was actually way kinder? What the fuck? Wait, what? He basically said, no, don't say it was a raid, even though it was a raid, but it was a justifiable raid. What?
They went, they followed protocol. We actually have video from the Tallahassee PD showing that they were very respectful. She was not cooperative. It was not a raid. They were serving valid process in accordance with the laws and Constitution of the United States and the state of Florida. They did it with integrity. They did it with honor. And to say it's a raid is disinformation, and you guys need...
Wait, how can you take this position if cops rolling into your fucking house, guns blazing, okay? Here, this is it, by the way. This is why it's so fucking insane, like what he's saying. This is not a raid.
Who else is in the house, man?
My 2 children and my husband.
Where's your husband? Calm down. Calm down.
You want the children now?
Calm them all down.
He pulled out the 9! He's got the 9 out! This is a fucking data scientist, bro. This is literally, dude. He's like, oh, my husband and your daughters? Time to kill one of them at least. This one's for Ron.
Mr. Jones, come down the stairs. Now!
Look at this!
Police, come down now!
Search warrant,
bring your
come down the
children!
stairs!
My children!
Hang on, let me clear behind
He
you.
just pointed a gun at my children!
Search warrant!
Bro, what the fuck, dude? Yo, Rob was like, that's not a raid. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, they were being so respectful, so polite, so respectful. Imagine being emotional at cops finding your children with guns ready to fire. Yeah, how fucked up? How fucked up? Can you imagine? Imagine thinking cops who are notorious for conducting raids like this in the worst way possible and like killing a bunch of random people and then not even getting legal fucking scrutiny over it would do that exact same thing at the behest of Ron DeSantis. That's so crazy. Yeah, why was she scared if she didn't do anything wrong though? Yeah, that's so crazy. I can't believe. I know the situation itself is so insane that I know you guys are joking, right? When you say stuff like that, I'm not even going to take it seriously. Now imagine if she had armed guards 24/7 and the cops called the guards ahead of time to assure peaceful entrance. They pulled out their guns very respectfully. Oh, Jesus. If you're afraid of an unaccountable group of jackbooted thugs murdering your family, as they have done to many other families, you must have done something illegal. You must have done something very illegal. That's how that works.
Need to drive.
Question, and sir, that's why I have very limited time.
Excuse me. Watch the video, and you will see how respectfully those cops pulled out the 9. Okay, it was a very respectful way to raise their weapons at the child of the data scientist.
Excuse me. You guys need to look at facts and stop trying to feed narratives.
Oh my God, he is saying that. He's like, what? He's saying that.
I understand why you do it, but it's not
I don't
supported
do
by
that, sir.
facts, and so you should be better
I don't
than
do that, sir.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Damn, he's pissed. Okay, this is the live stream of the unsealed docs. Oh, the live stream is concluded. Okay, we won't watch that, but we will get to the Fox News stuff in a second. But yeah, Breitbart basically leaked it. It was one of the first outlets to have it. But I want to show you something from last night, because one of the things that Fox News has been doing is, relentlessly and mercilessly swinging at anyone they fucking can. And Brian Kilmeade, everyone's favorite Brian Kilmeade was filling in for Tucky last night. I don't know where the fuck Tucker Carlson is. We miss him. We miss him. This is a time when, he is needed the most. So Brian Kilmeade is filling in for Tucker Carlson last night. And one of the main narratives that they have been pushing for, we'll look at that in a second. One of the main narratives that the Fox News conservative media apparatus and the conservatives have been fucking pushing for now is the judge is a rhino. The judge that signed off on the search warrant is a fucking rhino. They're saying that he's not ride or die enough. Now, I just want to point something. Okay, I just want to point to something here. The judge that they're referencing is a Trump appointee. Okay, which makes this even funnier. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, is a Trump appointee. Okay, the judge that signed off on the warrant is a Trump appointee, and he is literally a conservative. Anyone that says he's they found a tweet of him being critical of Donald Trump, but he's one of those annoying conservatives who's I'll vote for Trump, but I don't really like him. He was a Jeb Bush fan. However, the judge himself has also gone on Newsmax and shit. So it's not even he's not he's not one of these fucking blue-haired SJW judges, okay? These activist judges. He's straight up a Republican judge. Okay? And I'm not going to sit here and act like judges aren't fucking political. Of course they are. That's the reason why the Federalist Society exists. Just understand that conservatives, when they say stuff like this, they're just purely projecting, right?
Bruce Reinhart, this is the judge in charge of the as you know, of the warrant, and we'll see if he's going to.
That right there,
So a picture of Bruce Reinhart.
That is literally Jeffrey Epstein getting a fucking foot massage from Ghislaine Maxwell on the Jeffrey Epstein flight. They took, look at the source. They sourced it from What I Mean to Say. There is a watermark on it. This is the most popular news broadcast, dude. This is the most popular news broadcast in the fucking country. Tucker Carlson's slot is the most popular news broadcast in the country. How fucking nuts is that? Of course, this is the original. I've shown you this before. Yeah. We've shown these photos before. Look. It's gross. It's fucking weird, but also I think free Ghislaine, you know what I mean? Like, I free Ghislaine is what I see this photo and I think like maybe this is a joke, okay? I'm joking. And the joke is that I am the bad guy here for saying that, okay? So before you understand. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's the original. And the fact that these motherfuckers like straight up use this. You cannot convince me that they didn't factor in Tucker being on vacation for the week when they chose the date for the raid. Wow. Charlie, you're right. They probably did. 31-year-old man laughing at boobies. I love this stream so much. What do you mean? There's no fucking age gap on boobs and appreciating them. What the fuck do you mean? Hold on, Breitbart just put up the names of the FBI agents who did the search. Are you kidding me? And presumably Breitbart got leaked the search warrant by Trump unredacted. Wow, good luck to those agents and their families. Sheesh, the right don't give a damn about the blue. Yeah, no shit, they don't, of course. They are trying to get these dudes killed, which is pretty funny because like they're still fucking federal agents. So I am of the mindset that like they will be adequately protected. So anyone that goes after them is gonna get fucking murked, right? So yeah, Oreo's PR team is shitting bricks when they saw that on Fox News.
This is the judge in charge of the as you know, of the warrant, and we'll see if he's going to release it next. He likes Oreos and whiskey. Sean, so a picture.
This is actually a real photo. The Lolita Express is known for having thousands of red Solo cups on board. God, Brian Kilmeade is so bad. What a charisma vacuum he is. Holy shit. Fox News airs fake photo of Epstein and Trump raid judge who has been forced into hiding by death threats. That's Brian Kilmeade. When he was going over that, you know, when that photo was happening, when that photo was being blasted, you know Brian Kilmeade was like, this could get me in trouble. Like, I'm pretty sure I can't. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't do that. I'm pretty sure I can't do that. That's the reason why he was going like that. God forbid you like Oreos and whiskey. First of all, I like Oreos and I love whiskey, so. That is definitely a new low for Fox News, though. That is surprising that they did that, especially because like the person that they're doing that against is a person who has like a decent amount of power. You know what I mean? Like you're doing that towards like a judge. They do that every night for like immigrants and stuff, but undocumented immigrants, immigrants in general, brown people, black people, like these are people that do not have any sort of power, any sort of like mechanism of pushback. This is a fucking judge that you're like openly defaming on the most popular broadcast. So, yeah. Fox News will apologize for the photo at like 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning between segments. Yeah. Speaking of this judge, let's take a look at, remember, everyone's favorite fucking Jeffrey Epstein lawyer. Because from what I understand, people are saying like this guy is like linked to Jeffrey Epstein and stuff. I don't know. I haven't like done a deep dive into the fucking judge's background, but he's like a piece of shit fucking conservative judge who gives a fuck that he like signed off on this warrant. Obviously, of course, he's going to sign off on the warrant, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he was also a dickhead on top of that. But you know, well, we do know someone who is a dickhead who was like friends with Jeffrey Jebediah Epstein, who defended him successfully, as a matter of fact. So let's take a look at the Dersh, the #1 Fox News. Like he's on Fox News broadcast every fucking night. Okay, literally every night this man is on Fox News, and he's defended Jeffrey Epstein. So it's kind of weird that people always brush that under the rug.
Stop picking on the judge. The magistrate judge, they always approve search warrants. I'm sure the words were correct. Don't blame him. There's been in the media a lot of anti-Semitic attacks on him, a lot of McCarthyite attacks on him, blaming him for being one of the lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's secretary. Want to blame people? Blame me. I was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. If you...
Dude, stop. Dude, what is he doing? What? Okay, now I don't like the other judge. Now that Jeffrey Epstein, now that the Dersh has spoken, oh my God, I love the Dersh so much. This man is the gift that keeps on giving, okay? This man is the gift that keeps on giving. Wait a minute, what did he say? What do you mean, what did he say? This is, guys, the Dersh was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. For those of you who don't know, the Dersh, who has tenure at Harvard, by the way, is Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, and also friend. Like, got massages with Jeffrey Epstein. He kept his pants on. He kept his underpants on at all times. Okay? Alan, there's a constitutional defense for, 16-year-old girls to be able to consent, Dershowitz. Constitutionally speaking. For no reason whatsoever. Remember when he dropped that dime for no reason whatsoever? Remember when he just like randomly blasted that off? Literally unprompted. For all of us to consume and enjoy. Everything I've said about him is 100% things that he said, by the way. One of his main defenses always was, well, I might have gotten massages, but I always had my underpants on. That was one. And then the other thing was he randomly just decided to write a Twitter thread about the constitutional defense for minor women to be able to consent to sex.
McCarthyite attack.
And it's wild because like he's still on Fox News like all the time.
Attacks on him, blaming him for being one of the lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's secretary. Want to blame people? Blame me. I was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. If you trust me to do justice, don't attack the judge.
Minor women, minor girls, whatever. Shut up.
Stop picking on the judge. The magistrate judge, they always approve search warrants. I'm sure the words were correct. Don't blame him. There's been in the media a lot of anti-Semitic attacks on him, a lot of McCarthyite attacks on him, blaming him for being one of the lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's secretary. Want to blame people? Blame me. I was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer.
Oh, God, so good. Okay. Oh, here's the Dersh consent thread, which was completely unprompted, by the way. Of course, I follow him. One of my favorite follows, by the way. I stand by the constitutional, not moral argument I offered in my controversial op-ed. If a 16-year-old has the constitutional right to have an abortion without state or parental interference, how could she not have the constitutional right to engage in consensual sex? When you are a debate lord, you inevitably have to. When you become a debate lord, when you become a debate pervert, and by the way, lawyers are one of the highest stages of debate pervertry. Judges are the highest. Supreme Court justices are the highest stage of debate pervertry. Obviously. Okay? Okay? When you get to this level, if you're if you are a professor of the law, you are really high up there in debate pervertry, right? You are really, really high up there in debate pervertry. And anyone who is a debate pervert has to, at a certain point, talk about age of consent, the arbitrary nature of age of consent. That's just, you have to. That's how it works. Oh, by the way, Fox News host Brian Kilmeade was called out for showing photoshopped image of judge in the Mar-a-Lago raid. Apparently, where was it? Sean Hannity, that was like a follow-up. Even Sean Hannity pointed out that the image was clearly faked as they transitioned to his show, but Kilmeade pushed back a bit. Sean, can you relate to that? Kilmeade asked. I think that's actually a picture of Jeffrey Epstein with somebody put his head on there, Hannity replied. I'm guessing, I don't know. It might be his plane. Kilmeade responded, who knows? What do you mean, who knows? You should know, you dumb motherfucker. It's your show. He tried to defend it? Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's so fucking fire. Yeah, I guess we'll never know. Oh. Let's watch the
also,
second
a picture
clip.
of Bruce Ryan is
No,
going to release it.
I
think that's actually, and we'll see if he's going to release it next. He likes Oreos and whiskey. Sean, can you relate to that?
I think that's actually a picture of Jeffrey Epstein with somebody putting his head on there. I'm guessing. I don't know.
It might be his plane. Who knows?
I'll let you determine that in the morning.
Yeah, he's like, listen, you're fucked for that one, Brian, but you're on your own.
We'll be watching, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be watching, Brian. We'll be watching you fuck yourself, okay? Holy shit. Yeah, he said, you're on your own, pal. Oh, Jesus Christ. It could be anyone. It could be Tucker Carlson. Yes, we're going to talk about the Cincinnati guy, okay? The motion is granted. Breaking. Judge has granted the motion to unseal the search warrant and receipts. I mean, at this point, it's like, you know, it's happening already. And the unsealed court documents are right here. Here's a page showing which crimes the DOJ is investigating. We already knew that, though, because they were leaked to Breitbart and numerous other outlets before. So, yeah. The FBI missed searching this. Check Ivana's casket. That's so funny. The liberals are fucking losing their minds over this, obviously, for obvious reasons, because this is like a mind-melting situation.
Very significant.
But this is obviously a mind-melting situation, but I do think that it's like extra funny that they're like going buck wild saying that like they should desecrate the corpse of like Ivana Trump. You know what? Let's go live. Fuck it. Let's see what the fuck CNN has to say live. You know what I mean? Because I do want to see what CNN is reporting live right now. And then I want to see what
this man is the former president of the United States. Donald Trump may not think that there was any, but you can tell from what they did that there was a great deal of deference given to him because
I'll be back in a second.
Who he was.
Caroline Polisi, we've talked about these three statutes, the criminal statutes, also the Presidential Records Act, any presidential records created during the term. I assume you too have a copy of this. What stands out to you?
Yeah, this is just more confirmation that this goes far beyond a mere violation of the Presidential Records Act, which really is a toothless act in and of itself. It doesn't have an enforcement mechanism. These are heavy-hitting criminal statutes, espionage, obstruction of justice, as was noted. The maximum prison sentence for just one of these crimes is 20 years in prison. So this is a very big deal, and just more confirmation of what, we knew all along, which is that, Merrick Garland wouldn't have taken this, by all accounts, extraordinary step if it weren't absolutely necessary for the protection, of the country.
An update here. Sarah Murray obtained this from a source at the top, near the top of the hour. We now know that the judge has unsealed the document, and we'll be able to share more of it with you. Again, the judge has unsealed the warrant and the receipt for property after the search of the former president's home. Ellie Honig, you've got a new development here.
A small point and a big point.
Yes.
So here's the small point. If people are looking at this and it's now available on the internet and wondering, why would the FBI be so general? Why would we just see box labeled A35? Why wouldn't they give us more detail? Because this is an on-the-spot document. It's the receipt that the FBI hands over to the person who's just been searched. And we have confirmation of that because we see that it was signed the way you would sign an invoice by Christina Bobb, the lawyer for Donald Trump, 6:19 p.m. on August 8th, the day of the search. That's before we even knew about the search. So that's the nature of these documents. Nobody should conclude the FBI or DOJ was trying to hide something. These are on-the-spot receipts.
That's an important point because if you are there and you are just kind of writing down, and I've been in places, I remember I was at, the San Bernardino shooter's home, and they took some items and left the receipt on the table. And it was very handwritten, general of what was there. This is what is produced on site before they pack up and go.
Exactly. And when you're talking about documents, you can't possibly delineate all the documents. If you seize tangible items in a drug case, guns, you say however many kilos, however many guns. That's easy. But in a document case like this, really the best you can do is box of documents. So nobody's trying to hide the ball here. The bigger picture point to what you and Evan were saying, not only is this a search warrant of the former president of the United States, the crimes that are not even quite alleged, that's not even really the way to put it, but the crimes that Justice Department prosecutors went to a judge and made a showing of probable cause here. That's significant. That's not what you need to charge, but that's significant. Espionage, destruction of documents, and obstruction of justice. I mean, if you do step back, that is a remarkable moment.
Is Ambassador Norm Eisen with us as well, ethics czar at the Obama administration? Is the case that they have to prove as simple as these documents were classified, they were at Mar-a-Lago, there is the violation? How far or how difficult is it to prove that the former president is guilty of these statutes?
Well, 3 points, Victor. Technically, each of these three crimes, as to which probable cause has been found by a court, has a set of elements. And technically, yes, it's as simple as that. But it's never really as simple as that when you're going against a former president. They're going to have to show serious offenses. And that's why the volume of what we have here, these approximately 20 boxes, these 11 sets, the top secret SCI, our nation's most sensitive information that is the most dangerous for our national security, and the pattern that we've heard about of the Justice Department trying to get them.
Chat, I know Salman Rushdie got fucking stabbed, okay? I know. We're going to cover it. Shut the fuck up.
On that 1519...
I feel like there's some more, important things that are happening. Not that that's unimportant, but
of documents potentially. So it may not just be the case that we have. We know there's been reporting about a potential informant. This may not just be a case about what they got, which is bad enough. A potential knife strike against the heart of our national.
Salty, you didn't get to claim the fatwa? Yeah, I'm so mad. First of all, I'm fucking Sunni, motherfucker. What do you mean?
Burger. So this pattern of charges, we laid out an in-depth analysis this week at Just Security of what the crimes, as to which probable cause
I'm not
only
Shia.
have been found. Important to remember what they might be. Very important details that are emerging as we speak.
Let's go back now to Sarah Murray. Item one, as I mentioned before, this executive grant of clemency for Roger Stone. I understand Roger Stone now has something he wants to share.
Yeah, first item listed there, a spokesperson for Roger Stone is saying this. Mr. Stone has no knowledge as to the facts surrounding his clemency documents appearing on the inventory of items seized from former President Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago. And, we should remind people that Roger Stone was convicted of lying to Congress some years ago. Donald Trump granted him clemency when he was leaving the White House. So we don't know if that's what this is, that past grant of clemency, if this is, another new document that perhaps never came to light. We just don't know exactly what this line item is referring to. But obviously Roger Stone, through his spokesperson, is saying, hey, don't look at me. I don't know what this is about either.
Carolyn Polisi, we just heard from Ambassador Eisen. This 1519 speaks to the potential destruction of documents. If that is what is alleged, would we find that in the affidavit and necessarily not here? if that's specifically why that's relevant?
Definitely not going to find it in what is going to be unsealed today. Potentially, you might have hints about it in the affidavit, which again could be a very lengthy document, which we will not see unless there is an indictment at some point in the future, laying out all of the investigative steps that the DOJ and FBI took prior to submitting the warrant for sign-off by a magistrate in order to get to the probable cause standard in order to search Mar-a-Lago. Now, obviously, if we're talking about destruction of documents, one needs to have known that those documents existed.
Guys, I'm not going to fucking read through the search warrant, okay? If that's the kind of, if that's what you think we're going to do for fun, you're out of your mind, okay? We're not doing that. Bait title? No, bro. What do you mean bait title? Okay, I want to see fake leftists because y'all are boring, okay? Y'all are fucking boring and you don't understand content, okay? Stop. We're going to do the Ohio man who attacked the FBI building in a second. Let's see.
Significant reporting by the Washington Post. This is what it says, quote, classified documents relating to nuclear weapons were among the items FBI agents sought in a search of former President Trump's Florida residence on Monday. That's according to people familiar with the investigation. Now, this could elevate the concern over these documents in an enormous way. Joining us now is Washington Post intelligence and national security reporter Shane Harris. He's part of the team that broke this story. Shane, thank you so much for being with us. Just explain more what you and your team found here.
Well, what we understand is that among these classified documents that the FBI was searching for is documents related to nuclear weapons. Now, we're very clear in the story. We do not know whether that relates to U.S. nuclear weapons, the U.S. nuclear weapons arsenal, or research, or information about the nuclear weapons of other countries. But what we do understand is that this information, which would in any instance be among the most tightly guarded secrets in the U.S. government, appears to have caused sufficient concern that it helped motivate this extraordinary search at the former president's.
Now, this is still speculation, which is why I said Trump stole nuke details, question mark. This part has not been covered yet because obviously top secret details within those documents, regardless of the warrant being released, is not going to be mentioned. They just have classified it as top secret details. Here are the seized documents. You can see them right here. Okay. Here's the receipt of the property that they retrieved from the house, Mar-a-Lago, Trump's house, also known as the White House of the South. Okay. One of the funniest parts is the executive grant of clemency regarding Roger Jason Stone Jr. But, like, you're not going to know exactly what's in it, which is why this part is still speculation.
It's home. And I think what this underscores is the degree to which law enforcement officials and others in the government were deeply concerned about the sensitive nature of the information that Donald Trump had at his personal residence. And we should also emphasize there is no plausible reason that experts can point to why a former president would need to have classified information of that significance at his home.
Yeah, it should be tightly guarded. But what you and your team reporting this out, Shane, reveal is also it wasn't tightly guarded at the White House either.
That's right. We've talked to former officials who served at senior levels in the intelligence community in the Trump administration, who said that it was routine that highly classified information was passed around and handled by people who did not have a need to possess it or to read it. People who did not have the appropriate security clearances, people who didn't have a need to know. That among this information, one former intelligence official told us that they routinely saw was signals intelligence. We're talking about things like intercepted communications, potentially of foreign leaders. That, too, is some of the most closely protected, guarded information. And the idea that it was flowing around freely among officials who didn't need to have it or didn't have the proper access to it starts to fill out a picture of just the kind of the sloppiness that many former officials say they saw in the Trump administration when it came to handling close protected secrets.
So, Shane, one question that is being asked this morning, If the FBI believed or were seeking classified documents related to nuclear weapons at Mar-a-Lago, as you say, that would be so serious. The existence of those documents would be so serious. What took so long? When did they find out about these documents? Was it, when they knew about the 15 boxes months and months ago? Was it when they subpoenaed records? Why the search warrant?
Yeah, that's a great question. We still don't know precisely when they learned this. But if you look at the sequence of events of how this unfolded, we know that there was a subpoena that was issued to President Trump back in June, which is essentially a request from the government that, saying, we think you have information, we need you to hand it back to us. It's a command of sorts, but it's asking nicely, if you want to think about it that way. It appears that this situation escalated, however, when President Trump, for, again, reasons we don't fully understand, did not return the information that the government made clear to him he needed to return. And so I think that also elevated the concern among law enforcement agents. Why is he not giving back the information that we think he had?
Dude, that's the funniest part. All of this could have been avoided if Donald Trump simply just said, oh, here are the documents, my bad. Okay? Like, none of this would be happening right now, which would be, of course, ironic because, we would have less content. So thank you, Donald Trump, for that content. But, like, all of this could have been avoided like the top of the hour ad break. Okay? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, you can avoid those ads by subscribing. That's how you get an uninterrupted ad-free broadcasting experience. By subscribing for $5 or for free with Twitch Prime, by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. Or you can get gifted a sub. El Bobby Chulo, thank you for the 10 gifted subs, allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Suck a dick. My man used up his points to highlight suck a dick. Gaucho Marks, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Joe Biden's bike pedal, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Oh, that was his first message? Blue is a highlight? Oh, damn. Fighter from Mars, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Anyway, let's continue.
That we're telling him he needs
Official
to get back
Magnus,
to
thank you
us.
for the 5 gifted subs.
That in any event would cause significant concern if someone who had classified information in their possession was refusing to hand it back.
Thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
The political and the legal implications of that, we're seeing them play out right now, and we can see how
Chat, I know what the age demographics look like in here. You are not allowed to be behaving like this right now. The way you're behaving right now, all of you writing suck a dick in the chat, highlighting it. I know all you motherfuckers are white weebs that are over the age of 30. You do not get to behave like little fucking Zoomers in here, okay? You are all 30 plus white male weebs, okay? It is wild that you are behaving this way. It is wild that you are behaving this way when I know your fucking age group, okay?
extraordinarily that would complicate the situation.
Shane Harris, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Significant reporting that reframes, I think, how a lot of people are looking at the events over the last week. Thank you.
Joining us now is former federal prosecutor Daniel Goldman. He is now running for Congress in New York. Deputy editor of The City, Alyssa Katz. CNN presidential historian Tim Naftali. And CNN senior national correspondent Sarah Seidner. Look,
oh my God, my man's ears, bro. He got the Marco Rubio's on him, dude. He got the fucking Marco Rubio ears on him. God damn.
Much has happened in the last 24 hours. It's where to start, right? There's just a bounty of new information. But let's start with what we are expecting to learn. Maybe at 3 p.m., which is going to be the search warrant and the receipt, perhaps, about what was taken from Mar-a-Lago. Are you expecting that we will indeed learn that?
I have my serious doubts. As you will recall, Donald Trump said throughout the Mueller investigation, oh, I have no problem talking to them. I'm happy to talk to them. And then it became, oh, no, my lawyers told me I can't. So the fact that he has said release the documents means very little to me at this point. Let's see at 3 p.m. when their deadline is whether or not they are actually going to agree. But the Attorney General has put him in a real pickle here because either he releases the documents and we learn what statutes they are investigating, and we learn broadly, categorically, what they took. Now, some of that will be redacted because it's probably classified information. But we will certainly learn the statutes, and that will tell a lot about what they are investigating. I'm very eager to see that. If they decide to oppose this motion to unseal, then clearly they're trying to hide something, and it completely undermines his argument that this is just...
Well, this part already happened, right? Like, so we already know we're in the future now.
Meanwhile, one of the few things...
there is good stuff to look at with respect to the reason why I wanted to look at that coverage was because the Washington Post reporter actually had further information, whereas now they're just like speculating on the things that already came out, right? This was really funny. Hold on. Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, responded to Attorney General Merrick Garland's raid details.
Now, as President Trump's personal attorney, Christina Bobb, she was at...
I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You're going to jail. Look at my lawyer, dog. I'm going to jail, okay? You fucking hire a lawyer. You fucking hire a lawyer who's got 2 first names. You're going to jail. Oh, my God. Is this the... Wait. Okay, fuck that. Let's just watch this real quick.
So now, the new
fuck
host
it.
of
I'm
Fox
watching
News
Fox
Sunday.
News. I gotta. It's time.
We
it's
also
time.
have Fox News contributor
Thanks,
Jonathan
Charles.
Turley, former federal prosecutor Katie Trzaskowski. Let me start with you, Katie. What stands out immediately and most significantly to you?
Well, of course, the DOJ is going to try to.
Oh, they're saying all the documents were declassified. Trump declassified all of them in his mind. They are going with that. They're going with that. I can't believe it. They're going with that. They're going with all the documents were declassified in his mind. Oh my God.
The fact of the matter here is that I think the words espionage, classified, SCI are being used without any sort of actual facts to support what he's supposed to with these documents. In my opinion, the fact that he had these documents in his possession is no crime at all, regardless of what Merrick Garland or the DOJ says.
Yeah,
Shannon, Donald Trump, former President Trump, actually tweeted to that. Number one, it was all declassified. Number two,
he gets to have these as a treat.
They could have had it at any time they wanted without playing politics and breaking into Mar-a-Lago. It was in a secured storage with an additional lock put on it as per.
Okay, I need to mention something about the Espionage Act 793 that Fox News was not going to mention. So this is important for you guys to all understand. It doesn't matter if that document was declassified or not. Okay? For the record, it does not matter if that was even declassified. It's not, but it doesn't even fucking matter if Donald Trump declassified it or not. Okay? So they can fucking say like he declassified it in his mind or whatever the fuck all they want, all day, every day. But ultimately, for at least the most significant charge, it doesn't even matter if the documents were declassified or not. Okay? So just a reminder. Here it is. Friend of the show, Ken Klippenstein, offering this. Note that the prosecution under the Espionage Act does not require proof of espionage, just that the subject willfully retains classified materials and fails to deliver it upon official request. But also on top of that, no, I already ran the top of the hour ad break. Can Biden just say he reclassified them in his mind? There's also that. Except Biden doesn't have to reclassify those documents in his mind. He literally, personally did openly fucking make sure that the handoff, the rather symbolic handoff between the new president and former president did not happen in this circumstance. Normally, like Barack Obama, for example, Donald Trump even, I think, allowed Barack Obama to have access to classified information, as former presidents often are allowed to have. Brandon, on the other hand, cited security concerns, national security concerns, and did not do that regardless. So remember that. He declassified the documents with his mind, the same energy as the girl is my girlfriend. We just haven't spoke or hung out at all. We shared eye contact. Yeah. And now that the search warrant has been released, now wait, what the fuck? Baron POV? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Stop. Now that the search warrant has been released, Lindsey Graham coming in hot with a new talking point. Where's the affidavit? We still need to see the affidavit. We've moved on. We've moved on from the search warrant. Now it's time to see the affidavit. Yeah, it's the fucking it's the long form. Now that the birth certificate has been released, it's time to see the long form birth certificate.
Material. It's not clear if staffers, first of all, if the president declassified all this material, but also whether staffers went in and made those notation changes on these documents. So there could be confusion over the status of these documents.
Lamau, were you saying she's a young woman? She's a bad lawyer? Yes, that's what I was saying. You caught me. I was being misogynistic. No, you fucking idiot. I was making a joke about her having 2 first names. And also, otherwise, showing an incredibly poor performance thus far throughout this entire raid. But if you want to fucking believe that it was because I thought I was being misogynistic, then yes, go off, King. You got me.
FBI went in. What do you make of that?
Well, it does seem somewhat like a setup at this point. I mean, this was the president of the United States. Of course, he had access to classified and sensitive information. And any comparison to any other government employee is completely irrelevant to the president. The president is not bound by the same regulations and laws that any other government employee is when they have these security clearances. TS and SCI information can run the gamut from a lot of different topics. So it's really, I think, a fear factor sort of thing that the left and the media are trying to go after in terms of using these terms without any sort of substance to tell us what do they actually mean by that. He had access to classified documents. Did he declassify them? There's not a specific process for the classification authority, the president, to actually do that. Does he need to annotate on the document to indicate such? Likely, yes, but there's really no prescribed method he has to go through. So I think that we have a lot of big questions here about the actual criminal acts that they're saying he engaged in. And it's got to be much more than him just possessing information that they claim is classified.
Right. And Shannon, there's questions whether this is now a criminal investigation. Is it a national security investigation? Where do we go from here, assuming maybe we never get a chance to see the affidavit?
Yeah, we might not. But what we do know is on the face of this warrant, what it says is you can go after any physical documents or records constituting evidence, contraband, fruits of crime, or other items illegally possessed in violation of. And then it has the different sections, which are gathering and transmitting or losing defense information, concealment, removal, or mutilation of government documents. There are all kinds of there are 3 different statutes that are outlined here, and they have real criminal implications. If you were convicted under these statutes, some of them 3 years in jail, 10 years in jail, one's up to 20 years in jail. These are serious allegations. They are the justification for the warrant. And until we see those underlying affidavits, if we ever do, or if the government decides to move forward with some kind of case, we're just not going to know what that's based on. But these are real federal statutes with real criminal penalties.
Of course, I'm not sure what the binders of photos, the handwritten notes, and maybe the information from the president of France, if it's covered on any of those things. But Jonathan, there was also a report, the Washington Post, talking about nuclear materials or nuclear information. It just the whole thing has now become just a wild game of speculation. How important is it that the DOJ and the AG somehow reel this in? I mean, it seems like the ball is in their court to remove some of this, because this sort of speculation hanging over this nation can't be good.
Well, that's what really highlights what we don't know. TSSCI is a very high classification. If there was classified material in the former president's possession, he was not allowed to have that material after he left the presidency, and the government has every right to retrieve that material. But there are a lot of questions, not just about the status of the material, but the knowledge of the former president. And then you have all of these leaks that are being attributed to the Justice Department. And that's one of the reasons why it's not an easy thing for an attorney general to order the release of an affidavit. But this is a unique, historic moment. And whether for good or for bad, This raid has caused a great deal of concern among citizens. In fact, a belief among many that this is just another targeting of Donald Trump. That
oh yeah,
hurts the
I wonder
entire
why that concern happened.
FBI. It really undermines.
Perhaps it's because you guys are making it seem like it was bullshit.
The Attorney General needs to go against what I think is his personal inclination, and to say, release it. Release the affidavit.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite conservative argument. Is like, they first set the scene for people to get fucking whipped up into a frenzy, and then they turn around and go, "Oh man, the FBI really overstepped on their boundaries here by causing so much concern that they may be operating in a political way." It's like, bro, you did that. You did that, Jonathan Turley. You are the guy who's been on Fox News non-fucking stop for 72 hours since the raid started, saying exactly this. You are part of the reason, motherfucker. What do you mean?
It's ridiculous to ignore the troubling aspects of that situation. And I think Attorney General Garland's got to do much, much more than the type of boilerplate statement that he made yesterday.
Shannon, I mentioned a Donald Trump tweet. Former President Trump also added that they could have had at any time this information they wanted, and it includes long ago. He says all they had to do with that was ask. But there's another part to this. The bigger problem is what they are going to do with the 33 million pages of documents, many of which are classified. That
they asked that they didn't give it. They asked that they didn't give it.
Today, Martha played three sound bites together of James Comey on the information that Hillary Clinton had on her server, and he concluded that it was extreme carelessness in handling top secret information, but added, we cannot find a case for bringing criminal charges on her, despite the fact that it was extremely careless and she did have these top secret documents. So are we looking at a different sort of legal precedent here?
I think that the optics of this are very difficult for the FBI and the DOJ. And all of us on this panel will remember when this was going on with the former Secretary of State, she was allowed.
Also, like, they didn't have to ask. There is that element as well. Like, they didn't have to ask. They could have retrieved it aggressively from the jump. But they did. And they you know, they didn't give it back. So of course, like, yeah, you have to do that.
People were treated that it gets to the dangerous place of worrying about partisan perception or politics entering into these institutions that as Americans, we don't ever want to have to doubt them. But people can easily point to these other cases that were very high profile and say, how come the treatment has been so different? I mean, there are political ramifications of this, and it's naive to think that this would have been done in a low-key way. That Newsweek reporting, which again, you know, we don't know about the sourcing on it, but it points to senior DOJ officials and says they thought they could do this in a low-key way. I don't know how anyone thinks that you can carry out a raid on a former president's house and a warrant that's based on federal criminal statutes and think that it's going to go under the radar.
Right. Or why this sense of urgency? Why stop negotiating? Why not issue another subpoena? You know, again, take extra.
Oh, so they did ask. So you're admitting that they asked because earlier you said they didn't ask.
The way we could do this.
What the fuck? 3 seconds ago he said they didn't ask. Well, they did. They issued a subpoena and they didn't follow through on it. And then they asked again. What do you mean? Well, why didn't they ask twice? Why didn't they say pretty pink please with a fucking a cherry on top? That is the legally speaking, that is the thing that they should have done. They should have said pretty pink please. And actually they didn't do that. It's called the third time's the charm defense. It's a very famous legal defense that they should be using in this circumstance, as a matter of fact. That's really fucked up. He gets a mulligan on this, I think.
Search was executed properly. So I don't think we'll ever really get an answer to that in terms of, is this a pretext? Probably. I mean, I'm sure they're hoping that they come across other information that's helpful. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But I think that this warrant signed off by the judge does.
Dude, my favorite thing is like my own community members, like 14-month subs, trying to now get me to talk about the Salman Rushdie thing by just straight up saying I talked about Salman Rushdie last night at Austin show and he literally got stabbed Jesus. Like, I never talked about Salman Rushdie. Well, I did, but I was talking about like literally not fucking shitting on or not depicting Islam. Did I talk about Salman Rushdie? I can't remember. I think it was Anyway, regardless, like, you're making it seem like it's linked back to me now. What's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you wearing shoulder pads, bro? This is literally just my regular shoulders, my friend. No pads. No, I didn't even make the Charlie Hebdo joke.
Because of the optics that we have discussed. But they need to come forward, I'm talking about the Justice Department, and really show an airtight and undeniable case presented in front of that magistrate. Anything that is short of that is going to fulfill the narrative of critics of the Justice Department. This could not be more serious, not just for Donald Trump, but as I said, for the justice system itself. And Merrick Garland seems to be absent without leave on this. I was surprised by his statement yesterday. He talked about one aspect outside of the documents with regard to his approval. He didn't swat down the suggestions this could be a pretext for January 6th. He didn't address some of these other sort of procedural or scheduling issues. Now, he is someone who is known not to be inclined to reveal information, but he's the Attorney General of the United States who just ordered a raid on the former president's home and the very likely opponent of the current president. There is no way you could reproduce that in any past historical event. He's really in unknown territory, and he has to do better than to simply say, trust us, we're the government.
Yeah. Thank you, team, very much. That was fantastic, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And again, Shannon, congratulations. So we have been getting reaction from Capitol Hill on the raid and what comes next. Fox News' Lucas Tomlinson has the very latest from Washington. Lucas.
Charles, House Republican Whip Steve Scalise doubts the White House didn't know about this raid of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
Merrick Garland at least said he knew about it in advance and signed off. Did President Biden know about it in advance? He won't even answer that question. And that breeds distrust. It breeds a lot of questions about who's really calling the shots here.
Florida Senator Rick Scott wrote to President Biden's Attorney General and the FBI director earlier today. The American people are justifiably alarmed by the conduct of your agencies. This alarm has arisen not only because of the unprecedented nature of the raid conducted at the personal residence of a former president and potential future political opponent of the sitting president, but increasingly because of the lack of transparency by you and the Biden administration. At a press conference earlier today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said this about the Republicans.
I know very well how vicious they can be. You would think there would be an adult in the Republican room that would say, just calm down, see what the facts are.
Earlier, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee questioned the tactics used in the raid on Trump's home.
Knowing that presidents deal, except in the Situation Room, largely with policy issues, it would be highly unusual for a president to have anything, even in the Oval Office, that rises to the level of an imminent national security threat.
Turner says he wants to hear from the Attorney General and the FBI director as soon as possible in Washington. Charles?
Lucas, thank you very much. Joining me now to discuss New York Post columnist Michael Goodwin. Michael, it's interesting because there was an article, I think David Brooks in the New York Times, saying that this actually could be a massive mistake. It's galvanized Republicans who see President Trump as once again being targeted, by the system, particularly the Justice of the Department of Justice. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, thank you, Charles. I guess every squirrel occasionally finds a nut. I don't generally agree with David Brooks, but I think he's right on that. And all the things you've just...
Bro, this guy's wonderful because he has the Vaseline lens. Like, he has the Vaseline lens that you normally see on conservative phones, but this motherfucker has it on his, like, actual webcam.
When Garland came out and seemed as though it was just business as usual, all of that, I think, just fuels the suspicions. It also strikes me that Garland and perhaps others in the White House act as though we're in a different era of history. The rise
I wonder if they're interviewing fucking fossils like this because like they want to get people in that were there when nukes were first invented. You know what I mean?
Especially when the government is going so far out on a limb and doing something that's never been done before. But the way Garland approached it, the way the White House has approached this, is just as if it's just business as usual. And as Jonathan Turley just said, trust us, we're the government. I mean, those days are long gone. You look at Pew did a big...
oh, yeah, we can't trust the government anymore. Yeah, no shit, dude. Of course not. I mean, fuck the government and fuck the federal agencies. But you guys are the law and order guys. You guys are always talking about how the government is trustworthy and how you should always trust the government. So what happened? Now that it's like fucking Donald Trump getting targeted by the government all of a sudden in the lightest way possible for like the most obvious reasons possible, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, no, that's fucked up. Don't trust, people can't trust the government anymore. God damn, dude.
In this moment of extraordinary events.
I follow that polling by Gallup. It goes back to like the 1940s, and it is extraordinary. Yes. We've actually been, it's sort of the snowball that's become the proverbial boulder, and now you wonder because it's just completely flat. We have no, you know, we just don't trust anyone or anything, including the media, by the way. You know, the fact that the Presidential Records Act has never been used before. Since, you know, it was enacted in 1978 in the aftermath of Watergate. I think that actually widens the net in terms of apolitical folks out there, independents, people who just don't necessarily pay attention, saying, whoa, maybe, just maybe they are going after this guy for political reasons.
Well, and you add to it the fact that if these really are such serious documents, why has it taken them, what, 20 months? When did they discover these documents? I mean, they've been, as you've been reporting, they've had all these negotiations. They were there. They had meetings. The president came in and said hello. Right. When did they suddenly discover this sense of urgency that they didn't have until now? I mean, none of it quite adds up. But again, all the more reason why it's got to be explained and laid out in a way. And Garland's kind of nothing to see here, move along. It really just has the opposite effect.
Yeah, it definitely felt very nonchalant. Michael, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Of course, much more on this with Brett Baer later in the hour, why he says this warrant is raising more questions for the Department of Justice. And as the massive tax and spend bill is about to become law, did the government's official number cruncher just confirm what the White House has been denying? The middle class is going to get hit.
Oh, yeah. Let's move on from the Trump shit to more important stuff like lying about the IRS coming to get you. The middle class, man, the middle class. What a wonderful nomenclature. It's so good. It's just so malleable. You know what I mean? Anyone and everyone can be in the middle class at any given moment, right? And if you are a part of the middle class, then maybe you are under attack all the time. Always the middle class. Yeah, totally, dude. Totally. Why hasn't Tucker talked about this yet? Because he's on vacation. All right, let's move on to guys. You keep coming in here and saying insider paper says FBI agents recovered secret records. I know. We already talked about this like a million times over. We've been doing live coverage of the information that is coming out. Are you on mobile or something? What's happening? We already... Like, this happened like hours ago at this point. So I want to talk briefly about the way that the conservatives operate, though, because they fall in line. They fall in line and they get their fucking talking points ready and fired up, and then they blast the fuck off, right? Now, here's a great example of this. I follow complete list of House and Senate Republicans on here, and they basically gone dark. 40-ish minutes since the Post story broke, and there are only tweets with the look like, to my trained eye, like scheduled content on inflation / the Inflation Reduction Act with two unfortunate exceptions. Okay? Boating is a great summer pastime. Marsha Blackburn comes out, says Attorney General Garland, the DOJ pursues equal justice under the law unless your name is Hillary Clinton or Hunter Biden. The top Republican on the Intelligence Committee was apparently meeting with the Okeechobee County ranchers and cattlemen when the news broke. And of course, there's always the absolute morons who run this account saying stupid things that reflect poorly on their boss and then blow up in their faces later. Okay? So hours after Merrick Garland says that the DOJ only speaks through its filings in court, they go out and leak the story to the Washington Post, which they, of course, reverse leaked to Breitbart, as we know, right? Okay, I have a question. Who the fuck is Anna Heechee or whatever? Why do people keep saying Anna Heechee died? Is that like a these nuts joke or something? Like, why? What is happening? Why are you guys constantly fucking writing in the chat about someone? Anna Heechee, an actress. Anna Heechee from Ally McBeal. No, it's a real actor. The woman who did that really fucking fast car crash in LA. Wait, really? Wait, what? She got into a car crash? Was it an insane car crash? She was also in Legend of Korra. She was married to Ellen. Okay, I'm going to make the executive decision and not talk about that because I am not aware of what the fuck was going on, and I don't care. I'm sorry. R.I.P. to Anna Heechee. Okay, so anyone that wants me to cover that, I'm sorry. I have no opinion on this, and let's continue. Okay. Literally just a sad story. You don't have to cover it. Yeah, motherfuckers will come in and be like, dude, you have to cover this. Okay. All right. Rest in peace. Motherfucker said, is it a D's nuts jokes? Yeah, I thought that the people kept saying like, I thought people kept saying it so because they wanted to like do a D's nuts joke or something. You know what I mean? I wouldn't keep pronouncing your name like that. It makes you sound out of touch and rude. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Is it Heish? Bro, she was an actor, bro. Seriously, bro. There's different strains, bro. Please, bro. What? Out of touch, bro. Go outside. Yeah, dude. I don't know what is going on. Please stop. There's like, yeah, everyone in the chat is giving me a different way to pronounce her name. I don't know, okay? Stop being fucking weird. Shut the fuck up. We're continuing on with our coverage of this, okay? Ted Cruz is now trying to blame the Secret Service. If you follow the Fox News reporter thread, you'll see that it's just a shameless speculation from someone who doesn't know what happened. Doubtless the Secret Service spokesperson will respond to knock it down soon. So the Silver Bullet confidential source who likely convinced to raise the Trump home is a Fed. That's what Sean Davis said. At Mar-a-Lago, Trump is surrounded by two types of people: political loyalists, law enforcement officers, and Secret Service. Only the law enforcement officers would have an ethical and/or legal duty to report observations of criminal conduct to fellow law enforcement officers. Therefore, it would seem more likely than not that the probable cause for the search warrant was based on information provided by the president's Secret Service detail. Even the upside down flag lady is pulling her punches with the IRS Army post. Like, even she's not fucking blasting off on it. So, the reason why that's significant is because, like, they wait until they have similar talking points and then they fucking blast off once they have the same exact talking points. You saw this while they were doing the whole like Banana Republic third world country shit. So, that's precisely how this works. Here's an old Trump tweet. There's a tweet for everything. The IG found that James Comey leaked classified documents to his attorneys, which can be a violation of the Espionage Act. This is consistent with all the lies that Comey has been spreading. You know, that's a little haha gotcha moment among a sea of gotcha moments for Donald Trump. But here's what's happening with the Donald Trump fans. Top comments on Trump's forums right now are just trying to ID the specific FBI agents who were a part of and signed off on the raid so they can be helicopter passengers, which is a reference to the Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet murdering dissidents by throwing them out of helicopters. They haven't been too successful at it and are awaiting an affidavit because it will name the traitors. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I'm also like facilitating not one but two banger podcast episodes this weekend on the side. So the Taz guy, Trump guy is on Fox. What? I know the warrant is unsealed. We already talked about this. But it's not the warrant that they want. They now want the affidavit so they can figure out who the fucking unpatriotic, treasonous FBI agents were that would dare go into Trump's house. Donald Trump's response to everything was this, by the way. They could have had it any time they asked. And that includes long ago. All they had to do was ask, which they did. Okay, so there's that. There's that element. Okay. And that includes long ago, all they had to do was ask. The bigger problem is, what are they going to do with the 33 million pages of documents, many of which are classified, that President Obama took to Chicago? Wait, I love the Chicago mention here because like it almost makes it seem like Obama took it. Because, like, you know, when Republicans use Chicago, they use it as, like, racial agitprop. So, like, Obama took the classified documents to O Block. You know what I mean? Obama took the classified documents and, like, drove it up to you know, Southside Chicago. Like, that's the way he's doing it. He's like, Obama took them to Chirac. Number one, it was all declassified. Number two, they didn't need to seize anything. They could have had it any time they wanted without playing politics and breaking into Mar-a-Lago. It was in secured storage with an additional lock put on as per their request. Fire. Yeah, he says Chicago, pejorative. Yeah. Chief Keef, more like Chief of Staff Keef. That's who Obama's working with on the classified documents. Okay, so the U.S. National Archives responded to Trump's unsubstantial statement. The National Archives and Records Administration, NARA, assumed exclusive legal and physical custody of Obama's presidential records when President Barack Obama left the office in 2017 in accordance with the Presidential Records Act. NARA moved approximately 30 million pages of unclassified records to a NARA facility in the Chicago area where they're maintained exclusively by NARA. Additionally, NARA maintains the classified Obama presidential records in a NARA facility in the Washington, D.C. area. As per required by the PRA, former President Obama has no control over where and how NARA stores the presidential records of his administration. So, even on that front, he's wrong. But, you know, that didn't even fucking matter anyway, because all he had to do was mention Obama and Chicago. So much crime. So much violence. Did you already cover this? Yes, we're gonna cover the January 6th hoglet who fucking got suicided by cop in a little bit. Hold on. Did you see Brian Kilmeade put up a Photoshop image? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Trump possessed documents classified above top secret that could reveal intel sources on U.S. payroll. That's one of the other additional details. on what he may or may not have taken. This tweet didn't age very well by Ben. He's been awfully quiet since this shit's been popping off. Not really talking about it that much. Salman Rushdie, he tweeted about. He hasn't really tweeted that much about anything, really. Because that's exactly what happened. That's because this isn't real news. Unlike trans people swimming. Yes. If there is a 14-year-old trans girl out there, okay, inside of a fucking pool, God forbid, okay, if there's a swim meet happening and a trans girl accidentally even walked into the said swim meet, it's over. That is a matter of national news that needs to be covered endlessly. Do you understand? Lock her up! Lock her up! They will cut 700 hours of content off of that shit. But when the former president, like, took a bunch of classified information that the government asked, okay, that the government asked multiple times for him to return politely, nicely, with a subpoena, and he refused to do so. So then they fucking raided his home. Then it's like, whoa, hold on now. That's not that big of a deal. Ben Shapiro has not talked about this that much, which is really interesting. Really, really interesting. Even Steven Crowder, who was like, bro, this is time. It's time for a fucking literal war. It's time for Civil War II Electric Boogaloo, has not really talked about it either. Scoop, the Republicans plan to vote by proxy en masse today in hopes of denying Democrats a physical quorum and opening up the Inflation Reduction Act to a legal challenge per two senior GOP aides. Link to tweet. Hold on. The other day, he was like, bro, it's Civil War. Today, mysteriously quiet. Wonder why. I personally don't think we make a big enough deal about the fact that the entire American conservative movement was completely and totally altered, possibly forever, by the users of a website created specifically to share Japanese cartoon pornography. Okay, this is a fucking deep cut. Trump on Truth Social suggests without evidence that the nuclear materials were planted by the FBI during the Mar-a-Lago search. That was another good one. Nuclear weapons issue is a hoax. Just like Russia was a hoax. 2 impeachments were a hoax. The Mueller investigation was a hoax, and much more. Same sleazy people involved. Why wouldn't the FBI allow the inspection of areas at Mar-a-Lago with our lawyers or others present? Made them wait outside in the heat. Wouldn't let them get even close. Said absolutely not. Planting information, anyone? Reminds me of a Christopher Steele dossier. So now he's going with they're planting the fucking fake evidence narrative, which of course makes no sense because, you know, he's been sitting on these docs for a while. They made my lawyers sit in the heat, folks. Okay. Also, there's an update on the Kilmeade situation. Remember how I showed you Brian Kilmeade showed a fucking fake photo of Jeffrey Epstein getting a foot massage? A real photo of Jeffrey Epstein getting a foot massage by Ghislaine Maxwell on Lolita Express was altered, memed, by some fucking random account, random conservative Twitter account, to make it seem as though the actual judge that the magistrate judge that signed off on the arrest warrant on Donald Trump was getting a foot massage by Ghislaine Maxwell. So Brian Kilmeade not only fucking posted the watermark meme, Okay? Not only hold on. Not only did fucking Jesus Christ, sorry. Not only did he post, sorry, I just got a text message that fucked me up a little bit. It zapped my brain. Not only did Brian Kilmeade show the photo, but he also defended the photo to Sean Hannity when Sean Hannity was like, hey, doesn't seem like that's actually the judge. And and Brian Kilmeade continued to defend it by saying, oh, well, who knows? Last night, while subbing for Tucker Carlson, we showed you an image of Judge Bruce Reinhart with Ghislaine Maxwell that was sourced on screen to a meme pulled from Twitter, and it wasn't real. This depiction never took place, and we wanted to make clear that we were showing a meme in jest. Awesome. I know the hogs have fucking started. Take a week off. I don't know what you're saying. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati office hoglet in a second, okay? All right. But let's hear from John Bolton, who's on Newsmax, talking about how we are safer under Biden than we would have been under Trump.
World, could you think that we're safer now than we were?
I have to mention something. John Bolton is a fucking freak, okay? For the record.
World, could you think
I gotta pee.
that we're safer now than we were under President Trump when he was willing to put missiles into Syrian air bases with Russians on the base? What's going on here, sir?
He didn't understand, because he didn't understand fundamentally much of anything about international affairs. His decisions were not based on a coherent philosophy or a coherent policy.
But we were safer.
They were erratic.
Safer. He kept world
under
leaders,
Donald Trump.
He kept world leaders
He
on
signed
their,
a deal
on their
with
heels,
the Taliban.
Sir. He kept them on their back feet. They didn't know where he was coming from, and that made us safer. I mean, can you? He had President
and
Xi
he cut a deal with the Taliban to withdraw from Afghanistan. Did that make us safer, Eric?
When he bombed, no, you know what made us less safe?
From Afghanistan make us safer, right?
You know what made us less safe is when Biden pulled us out of Afghanistan. 13 Americans died, and now
that was Trump's deal.
And now
that
the Taliban tells us, back off, don't kill Al Qaeda.
That's right.
Are you out of your mind, sir?
Same thing they would have done under Donald Trump. No.
Oh,
who cut the deal, Eric? Who cut the deal?
Who delivered the deal?
Donald
Biden
Trump cut the deal, didn't he?
No. Trump wanted to.
What would Trump have done? What would Trump have done had he been reelected?
Remember, sir? Let's be
honest.
No,
he did not. He absolutely did not. He did. Eric, you don't know what you're talking about. He wanted everybody out. He cut a deal to do exactly that.
Anyone disagrees with you, we don't know what we're talking about. Trump said leave 2,500 there until we have a smooth transition of power.
He did not. Look, he said that after he cut the deal. The deal cut us down to zero. That's what Trump wanted. He wanted everybody out. The record on that is completely clear.
Over time, Biden pulled them out. Well, with Americans still there.
No, read the deal, Eric. Have you ever read the deal?
Oh, stop it.
Yeah,
stop
I know you got to go before you're embarrassed even further.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, let him fight. Let him fight. Fuck that guy. I mean, I hate John Bolton. John Bolton is arguably as big, if not an even bigger villain than like 90% of Republicans. Probably a bigger villain than 90% of Republicans. So he is the modern day Kissinger, so I mean, famously openly said like, I've done coups. I know what coups are like, openly admitting to facilitating coup d'etats on CNN across from Jake fucking Tapper. So Not a big fan of that guy. I'll just say it. I'll put it lightly and just say, not a big fan of that guy, okay? A man who made it his entire life's mission to fucking try and nuke Iran and try to facilitate a coup in Iran. Not a big fan. To put it lightly. Yeah, we'll talk about Beto O'Rourke calling a guy a motherfucker in a second. Okay. Let's see what Trump's lawyer had to say, by the way. Christina Bobb.
Mar-a-Lago when
last
agents
night.
were rummaging through the former president's residence. Christina, thank you for being with us tonight. Now, your reaction about the breaking news. Absolutely. Your reaction about the breaking news tonight about these supposed nuclear documents that may have been in Mar-a-Lago and were the cause for concern and for the urgency of this search warrant in the Washington Post tonight.
Right. Well, you nailed it in your opening monologue. This is what the Democrats do. They don't have any good reason for doing what they did. The pathetic presser that Merrick Garland held for 3 minutes was insufficient. So they had to create fear. Normally, they should come out with exactly what happened and why and explain themselves. And if it was a good reason, they would have solid ground. They are.
I mean, this is a perfect situation because they did come out with it, right? Because we're in the future now. The Democrats didn't do this. But that's besides the point. They're going to say that regardless. I mean, that's obvious. That's a good counter. I would use that as well. But one thing that I find really interesting, particularly interesting, is that they sound exactly the same. Like, are conservatives being fucking hired? Like, do they hire conservative lawyers, like all these people, specifically because they sound exactly the same? It's such a weirdly repetitive speech pattern.
Are not on solid ground. So they had to come up with something that would potentially terrify the American public into freely giving up their constitutional freedoms. You know, if we are on the verge of nuclear war, giving up the nuclear codes, maybe it's acceptable that they violated the president's constitutional rights. It was not acceptable. And they're trying to come up with reasons to make it sound appropriate and make it sound okay, because they don't actually have a good reason for doing what they did.
Okay, so Christina, just so I'm clear about this, I want to be really clear. Is it your understanding that there were not documents related to our nuclear capabilities or nuclear issues that had national security implications in the president's possession when the agents showed?
Wait. It's literally, you're asking her to reveal a federal crime. Like, you're literally, if it's a top secret clearance, like, she doesn't have access to that information. Why would she fucking know that? And if she says anything about it, if she says anything about whether or not there were, like, there's a reason why, okay, there's a reason why all of the information that's come out so far just basically details the numbers on boxes and shit. They don't actually show what it is. So Laura Ingraham asking this question to Trump's attorney would, I don't even know if there's like attorney-client privilege in when it comes to like the Espionage Act. But it's such a weird thing to ask someone, to be like, hey, these top secret documents, like, did you see all of those top secret documents that we know are top secret, by the way? Now we know.
Showed up at Mar-a-Lago.
That's correct. I don't believe they were, and if they thought they were...
Well, do you know for a fact? Do you know for a fact they were? Have you spoken to the president about it?
I have not specifically spoken to the president about what nuclear materials may or may not have been in there. I do not believe there were any in there. The legal team had done a very thorough search and had turned over. We've been very cooperative with the Biden administration and the DOJ and turned over everything that we found that we had. So it's my understanding on very good belief based on a thorough investigation that there was nothing there.
So Christina, when you were there and the agents arrived, did you ask, can I accompany you on this grand journey through Mar-a-Lago? And they said no? Like, how did that play out?
I did. I actually believed that I could just follow them because that seemed like the appropriate thing to do. So I just started to follow them and was told I wasn't allowed to. And I said, I'm the president's attorney here on site. No one else had arrived at that time, and said I should have the opportunity to observe your search and observe what you're doing. And they basically said no. And I tried to push a little bit, but I'm not going to push too hard against the FBI. So I backed off. But at no point during the day did they let me follow them or accompany them throughout the property.
Now, Christina, the president has been given until 3 p.m. tomorrow to decide whether he wants that warrant unsealed. What, if anything, can you tell us about that decision-making process? Of course, the left is saying, well, if he wants to be so transparent, why doesn't he just get it all out there? And your response to all this?
Yeah, well, my response is it's President Trump's decision, and he can make that when he's good and ready to do it. But I want to remind everybody that it is the Biden administration that owes this country an explanation, not President Trump. It was the Biden administration that took an egregious step to violate constitutional rights of a president of the United States and invade his personal residence.
Bro, what the fuck? Like, wait, I don't understand. I mean, you passed the bar in Florida, right? Like, I assume you understand that, like, if you don't fucking follow through on a subpoena request and you refuse to give these documents back to the federal government, back to the federal agencies that are requiring it, then yeah, this is like a totally valid reason to be able to go through and rummage his shit. I actually don't understand why she would even. I mean, I guess like that's just it. The audience is too dumb to make that distinguish between what is like completely unjustifiable and what is justifiable.
And now they want to try to shirk that responsibility by just saying, well, why doesn't he release it? No. They owe us an explanation, and they can't get out of it that quickly. And I'm sure President Trump is going to make his decision. And I know that he bases his decision on what he believes is best for the country and what will bring us together and unite us. And I'm sure that that is the driving factor for his decision.
Christina, the scuttlebutt, because it always changes. Yesterday it was that Merrick Garland knew nothing about the raid. That was hilarious. And then today they sent him out.
That was never the case. No one said Merrick Garland didn't know anything about the raid. Why would they say that? As a matter of fact, everyone said, no, Merrick Garland definitely knew about the raid. This is like a very high level raid. The only place where like I could have ever heard such a fucking statement was probably Fox News. Why would Merrick Garland not know about the raid? He said so himself. Wait, what? Merrick Garland said he didn't know about the raid? What are you talking about? No, Biden didn't know about the raid. Why wouldn't fucking Merrick Garland not know about the raid? Of course Merrick Garland knows about the raid. As a matter of fact, the only person that I heard say that like Merrick Garland didn't, or allude to Merrick Garland not knowing about the raid was fucking Andrew Yang. So I guess maybe they're going off of what Andrew Yang said, but remember, I dunked on that yesterday.
Out to say, trust us, and everyone's being mean. Yeah. And now there's a Secret Service agent, perhaps that's the one that saw this nuclear or whatever material, and he or she is the one that's helping establish that probable cause for the warrant. Tonight, what can you tell us about the Secret Service detail that was assigned to President Trump and concern that may have been what got this going? Yeah.
I don't believe that for a second. I think the Secret Service has a lot of professionalism, and I don't believe for a moment that the problem with this is on...
Wait. Secret Service has a lot of professionalism. Yeah. It's their job to literally... If the former president is doing a federal crime, it is quite literally the job of the Secret Service to inform other federal authorities. Like, that is their job. Why are so many people asking me thoughts on Salman? Is it because, like, you want me to say, like, Muslims suck or something? Is that what it is? Like, I'm going to get to the story, but why are people so fucking horny about it? Is that what it is? Like, because so many people have come in and been like, dude, cover the Salman story right now. Why are you covering this thing? Cover the Salman story. Say you were wrong about Scam Harris? I guess that's what it is, right? There has to be, because it's like very weird. It's got to be like r/atheist Andes, yeah. Like when Sam Harris is an anti-Islam Arab on.
President Trump or anyone in his circle. I think it's a story that the leftist media wants to try to paint the picture that somehow there's division within the Trump camp. There's not. And to the extent that they think there's an informant or some other type of division that is causing this, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll reserve that judgment. But I think this squarely falls on the shoulders of the Biden administration. And I want to see what they got, because I don't think they have enough for their actions.
Well, they're certainly changing their story quite a bit in like a 72-hour period. Christina, when they were in Mar-a-Lago, now, I know the layout of Mar-a-Lago. I've been to Mar-a-Lago. Did they focus their search in the president's private quarters? It's a big club. I mean, there's a lot of space there. Or did they go all over the entire club? Because that's a lot of rooms and it's a lot of ground to cover.
Right.
And they had 30 agents or so, I know.
Right. So they told me that they were specifically looking at 3 areas. They were looking at the presidential office. They were looking at the residence, the private family residence, and then the storage unit that we've heard so much about, on the bottom floor. So I believe the search was contained to those 3 areas. That's what I've been told. I have no reason to believe that they went anywhere else, but because I didn't accompany them, I can't say for certain, but I don't think they went anywhere else.
I want to play a moment, Christina, from the Attorney General today. Watch.
The department does not take such a decision lightly. Where possible, it is standard practice to seek less intrusive means as an alternative to a search and to narrowly scope any.
Come on, dude. At the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. God damn it, dude. And if you no longer want to see those fucking ads, if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free, or by getting gifted a sub by the likes of Brown Boy Wonder. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. I'm eating. You fucking got me while I'm eating. My senses are lowered, okay? I was not on edge. My senses are not heightened like it normally is. That's how you got me. Amazon Prime isn't free. Yeah, that's why I always tell you you can fucking steal someone else's Amazon Prime and connect it to yours. Every motherfucker on the planet at this point has an Amazon Prime. Or at least know someone that has an Amazon Prime. They're not going to use it on Twitch. Steal it from them and connect it to your Twitch Prime. Connect it to your Twitch account so you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Arya Saka T99, thank you for the 5 gifted subs as well. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Steal it from your wife's boyfriend. Just like he bought you that, just like you stole his Nintendo Switch.
Search that is undertaken.
Christina, is there any reason then legally why he can't tell us why a search became necessary?
Right. That's a really nice soundbite, and I think that that's how they're campaigning, and that's how they're running the administration. Because we were cooperating with them. We met with them. I was there when they came in June, and President Trump himself met with them, briefly, and said hello and said anything you need. And he pointed to the attorneys there and said anything they need, make sure they do it. And we had been cooperating to the fullest extent. And from that meeting in June, the next thing I heard was on Monday, where they said you got to get down to Mar-a-Lago. They're raiding the place, and I thought, well, that's odd, because we had just said, if you need anything else, let us know. So I don't believe his statement. It sounds really nice, and it's a good principle that we should live by, but they don't.
Now,
I love this take, dude. Well, why didn't you give all the documents then? Like, why'd you have to keep them? That's what I don't understand.
Much was made about the safe, you know, the safe cracker and so forth. But
wait, what?
Do we know
what? I'm sorry. That was appropriate. That was appropriate framing. Twitch, they didn't mean the C word. Stop! Twitch, stop! She meant like a safe cracker, not fuck. Like a person who cracks into safes.
Was there any, you know, the safe cracker and so forth? But do we know, was there anything in the safe?
Contextually
Was it much
appropriate.
ado about nothing with the safe? Did anyone even know how to open the safe? What do we know about it?
Well, I love this story because I actually couldn't accompany them, and so I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I couldn't see what they were opening. So we know about the story because of the CCTV, and the cameras were on, and so those in New York watching were aware. So I have to take their word for it. I know the president put the story out, so I have no reason to believe it didn't happen, but I wasn't able to witness it because I was pretty much relegated to the parking lot.
No. So when you were speaking with the FBI agents and the agents at the time, were they cordial? Were they, you know, you can get a sense if someone's kind of embarrassed that they have to do something, or it's just like,
yeah,
thank you, move aside.
Well,
like, just give us some flavor.
Initially, it started out a little heated. Simply, I mean, I was upset, and you know, they were not excited to see me. So we had a little bit of an incident initially, just me wanting access to the warrant. They didn't believe they needed to even show me the warrant. So we fought about that, not for very long, maybe a minute, no more than 2. And I did have an opportunity to see it. They didn't give it to me. And then after we kind of worked through that, you know, it was a long day, so you know, there's no point in keeping it heated for too long. So only for a couple minutes there was a little bit of tension, and then it calmed down for the most part, and everything was fine. They wouldn't allow me inside anywhere, so I had to stand out in the heat for, I don't know, 8 to 8 hours or so, maybe 9 hours. And so eventually they were kind and offered me water because I was out there, but I would have appreciated the opportunity to wait in air conditioning.
Yeah. Did they give you the inventory?
It's so funny. It's like, bro, these guys kill people. Like all the time. Like regularly. Oh no, they made you wait outside for 8 hours, dude? You could have gone somewhere, grabbed a bite, came back. That's fucking crazy, dude. I can't believe when the FBI raids your fucking boss's home. You know, you're inconvenienced. What a wild turn of events. Efendim baba ne oluyor? Nereye? Ha merhaba.
Inventory list before they left, or while they were doing the raid, that they don't want to call a raid?
Right, the raid. We do have the inventory list, as you can expect. It's not particularly helpful. So yes, I kind of have the inventory list. They gave me the official receipt, but
you're going to give it to us tonight, Christina. We're happy to talk about it tonight for the next 40 minutes on the show. Yeah, well,
I would love to.
Christina, we really appreciate your joining us. You're a young lawyer, and you were put in a one of the most historic and I think egregious abuses of federal authority that I've seen in my legal career a long, long time. But we really appreciate your joining us tonight and answering some of these questions.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. Dude. It's so incredibly fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe it. In my long legal... Wait, what? OAN ditches far-right network, Next Stop Trump World? OAN host? Oh my God, Christina Bobb. Oh my God, Trump literally plucked her from OAN. That's a Prager University law degree, brother. This country is so fucking stupid. I swear to God. That's her job, by the way. The reason why... Okay, that makes sense as to why she talks like that now. The reason why they fucking had her on the legal team is so she can go on television and say dumb shit like that. That Twitter thread with the hog TikToks added more if you wanted more later. Oh, let's go, dude. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, we'll do this in a little bit. Part 2 of the hog talks that we were looking at. Finger licking good, baby. Let's go. Okay. Let's see the fucking... Let's go back to Fox News to see some live malding.
His lies.
Oh yeah, they're going with the all documents are declassified narrative.
The warrant, Christina Bobb, his attorney, confirmed that on our network and other networks. They did have the warrant there. He said President Obama, I love when he tattletales on himself. President Obama did this too. He took the nuke materials out, in his back pocket. Not true. The National Records Office released a statement that President Obama fulfilled protocols, 30 million documents, went through them to Chicago, following protocol, respect for the law and the way that things are done. It is too mind-blowingly arrogant, I think, to sit here and say, I know exactly what's going on, and to call the Attorney General of the United States of America a loser. I think that's the word that you use.
No, he's a loser. No, he's a real loser.
Great, Dan.
Like a genuine loser.
An
actual loser. And
I've known losers in my life, and Merrick Garland is certainly not.
He is a total loser.
Okay.
He is burning down the constitutional republic, targeting this.
Bro, they always have a liberal here. This is the lip seat on the 5.
PP tape. I can tell you what was on the Hunter Biden laptop. Actual pictures of him with hookers smoking crack.
Guess what?
So
Hunter Biden was not president and will not be.
The pearl clutching about how Barack Obama was a standard and paragon of justice on the Democrat side. Hillary Clinton literally paid a foreign spy to produce a hoax about this. And you're citing the Democrat Party as a paragon. Don't make me laugh on the set.
I sat there and listened to you.
Well,
so just let me finish.
You brought up Merrick Garland being a loser, which he is. So if he stopped being a loser, I wouldn't have the need to respond.
Okay. The point here is that the former president has no respect for the rule of law. And he's shown this over and over again. He called Brad Raffensperger up and he said, find me 11,853 votes when he didn't like what was happening in Georgia. He wanted to stop the count in Arizona and continue it in Pennsylvania. We saw what happened on January 6th, where he wanted Mike Pence to decertify an American election. Make all of you at home, he wanted your votes not to count. That's how little respect he has for it. And now he's refusing to comply with rules that every president has had to comply with. And why now? Because they subpoenaed him in June, and he did not comply.
Now you're making that up.
No, I'm not.
You're making that up.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. He actually met with them on June 3rd, according to multiple sources.
Yes, and then after that, Jay Brad, who was the agent involved in this, who does oversee...
It was 6 weeks since the end of June, and that was the last communication.
Did he comply with the last subpoena,
if it was so urgent,
That's not what I asked you. Was there a subpoena ignored by the Trump team?
They had conversations after the subpoena.
Was
multiple conversations
complied with?
They handed over surveillance tapes. Just you don't know whether they complied or not.
Yes, we do.
Actually, no one knows anything. But we
know Merrick Garland's a big loser.
Do you know what I know, though, Dana? This week has been so much fun with this story because no one's getting hurt, and it's about paperwork.
Actually, the FBI agents in Cincinnati that
they
were
weren't hurt. The guy was shot dead.
Okay.
Oh,
we
have
2 more blocks to talk about.
You know what I meant, Jessica. Don't throw that.
Everybody.
Oh my God!
Let's not bring that up. That's
He said the guy. He said a Trump supporter tried to unsuccessfully murder FBI agents, but he died, so it doesn't matter. Oh!
Much more to come. As I just said, on the breaking news of this release of the FBI's warrant, there's now a big battle over whether Trump declassified the documents.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh my God, Dan Bongino roid raging on like the lightest pushback. Oh my fucking God, that was awesome. Oh God, it's so good. It's so fucking good, dude. Let's talk about that. Now that they mentioned the Cincinnati thing.
The armed man who allegedly tried to break into an FBI office in Cincinnati, and what we're learning about potential ties to what happened there at Mar-a-Lago. Authorities say the man who was killed by police is a suspected domestic violent extremist, possibly motivated by conspiracy theories related to former President Trump, the 2020 election, and that Mar-a-Lago search warrant. Trevor.
Oh, he was. There is nothing funnier. There is nothing funnier than conservatives losing their minds to a degree where, like, their domestic terrorists get activated over the funniest thing, like the lightest pushback. Like, literally, just the FBI wanted to retrieve documents. That's it. None of this needed to happen if the Trump administration cooperated with the federal government. And they didn't do that. And then everyone went buck wild, said civil war is upon us. And now the most sane Truth Social user decided to take matters in their own hands. Just want to remind you guys about this wonderful thing. What? It looks like the results below are changing quickly. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are all domestic.
Fuck!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are all domestic terrorists. Please welcome founder of the...
Look at this. Look at this shit, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are all domestic terrorists. Please welcome founder of the... Ladies and gentlemen, we are all domestic terrorists. Please welcome...
Oh my God, they admit it. At least they're aware, you know, at least they're self-aware. That's important. Self-awareness is important. So they did that, right? They did that. And then, of course, surprise Pikachu when someone fucking tries to do this.
Alt is there in Cincinnati with more on this. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Cecilia. So what we're learning about this suspect is both bizarre and frightening. Sources tell ABC News in recent days after the search of Mar-a-Lago, this suspect is believed to have been posting online calling for drastic violent action, saying he wanted to kill law enforcement, and even posting as he was fleeing about his failed attempt to break into the FBI.
This morning, new details about the suspect who authorities say tried to break into an FBI field office in Cincinnati, leading officers on a miles-long chase that ended in a deadly shootout. Multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News the suspect is 42-year-old Ricky Schiffer, labeling him a suspected domestic...
Come on, tell me he has an HVAC business. Tell me he has an HVAC business, bro. Tell me he has a fucking HVAC business. Born a poster, die a poster? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Violent extremist.
Male subject attempted to gain entry into the FBI field office in Cincinnati.
Authorities are investigating social media posts allegedly made by Schiffer.
Electrician? Fuck! Close. Those that can't HVAC landscape instead?
After he learned about the FBI search on Mar-a-Lago, he called for war and to kill FBI agents on site. In posts on Twitter and former President Trump's own social media network, Truth Social. Just after 9 Thursday morning, officials say he tried to breach the FBI office's visitor screening facility with a nail gun, body armor, and an AR-15.
He was armed. He was unsuccessful when he fled that area.
Schiffer then taking off, leading authorities down the highway for 60 miles.
They're following a car.
I just want to point something out here. He had a rust loadout. Yeah, he had the nail gun. I think nail gun is for bulletproof windows. But the Holy Trinity, HVAC, electrician, landscaper. So he's so fucking stupid. Yeah, he had a Crown Vic too, which, you know, LARPing as a security person. You know he felt like a cop every time he drove down in that Crown Vic. Yep, I was right. Are you telling me the FBI attack guy assumed he could get through bulletproof glass with a nail gun because nails aren't bullets? Well, I thought I had a way through bulletproof glass, and I didn't. If you don't hear from me, it's true. I tried attacking the FBI, and it'll mean either I was taken off the internet and the FBI got me, or they sent the regular cops. Like, bro, what do you mean taken off the internet? You're dead. You're going to die. You can't try to fucking break into the Cincinnati FBI offices to kill FBI agents and survive. Yeah, you got taken off, all right. You got taken off the earth, dumbass. He's like, cancel culture's coming for me. I love the idea that, I mean, these people's brains are so fucking broken by posting that, like, he's literally still talking about, like, cancel culture will come after me. Yeah, bro, they canceled your life. Okay? Taken off the internet. He's still in his last final moments. It's like the cops have surrounded him. He's still like, oh man, cancel culture coming for my ass. I sure hope they don't suspend my accounts. Oh my God. Man who fired nail gun at FBI building called for violence on Truth Social in days after Mar-a-Lago search posted, I tried attacking the FBI shortly after shooting. Now, why? Why would... Oh, by the way, Truth Social did actually... Well, I thought there was... Oh, also, why did his sentence stop this? Tom says, did this guy get tackled mid-sentence while posting speculation about what type of cop would get him? Like, why did he stop in the middle of it? So, it's so awesome. This story is awesome. I love this story. Because... And I could have called this. I didn't. I mean, we're looking at it now, but like they immediately will say you're a Fed. Yeah, what a pathetic thing to try and be a MAGA martyr. You finally get the heroic struggle you've been striving for to give meaning to your life for years. You die in the process, and the response from your fellow travelers is that you're a crisis actor. Immediately. They'll say, oh, you're a Fed. You're a crisis actor. You're done. Fake. They stage an attack on themselves to play the victim. It won't work. No one feels bad for these F words. Done. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a nail gun down to the FBI office in Cincinnati, Ohio. You will not shatter at bulletproof glass because you have a nail gun. Then the cops are going to kill you, and people will laugh at you because your name is Dick Shitter. Ashley Babbitt right now. Where's Dick Shitter? Oh, man. Yeah. What a fucking idiot, dude. What an L. What a fucking permanent L this guy got. Here's the reality, okay? This is when your level of entitlement ends up fucking you in the ass, okay? When you are so entitled that you think you could just, like, attack the FBI and, like, low-key get away with it. Like, the wild. And he almost did. They fucking chased him for, like, 6 hours. It was like a standoff. That's the wildest part about this. Like, he's right. Dick Shitter was right. That the FBI actually wasn't going to fucking kill him, or the cops weren't going to fucking kill him.
For the FBI, so there were about 7 units, I believe, on the call.
They say he fired at officers from his vehicle, eventually stopping in a cornfield and trading gunfire.
Officers attempted to negotiate with the suspect. Over time, they eventually failed and were unsuccessful. So at that time, officers...
I mean, they probably got bored and killed him. Let's be real, okay? Most likely.
Officers tried to move in using less lethal tactics. The suspect then raised the firearm toward law enforcement, and that's when shots were fired at the suspect.
And now new details are emerging about his past. Analysts say social media posts place him at the Capitol on January 6th. Investigators are now trying to determine if he was there during the insurrection and if he has any connection to the Proud Boys. He had not been charged with crimes in connection to the January 6th attack.
And there were...
I love that. I love that. It's so awesome. It's so fucking awesome. Of course he was there. Must have been Antifa, brother. Persnick, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
Many warning signs that this could happen and could continue to happen. Law enforcement has been on high alert since the Mar-a-Lago search, monitoring growing anger online and many posts, just like the ones this suspect is believed to have shared, calling for violence or even civil war. TJ.
The funniest, I mean, dude, this is so awesome. This is so hilarious. Like, the quickest way to die is by doing this, okay? Like, I don't even want to say this, but I do fear that some of these fucking idiots are going to realize, like, oh, we can't go after the cops because they'll kill us. So they're just going to go after, like, random people that they perceive are leftists or whatever in an effort to do civil war. Like, that's my fear in this situation. Because this is death speed run. You know what I mean? Any percentage. You will get fucking clapped immediately. He apparently was killed. Yes, I know. MTG, Bongino, and Leo Toro should be held accountable for inciting this violence. Of course they won't be held accountable. Don't be fucking crazy now. I don't have an issue. I mean, glad that these guys are speed running through it, you know. Have a go at it, you know, fuck around and find out. It's so ridiculous. Dijon Dickler, thank you for the 5 gift subs. The funniest part about it, like I said, the funniest part about it is that it's done over Donald Trump not giving the FBI classified information that they asked nicely for and then just simply retrieved by breaking into his home, which they were legally allowed to do so, and they did so while he wasn't even there. So there's nothing funnier than that. It's like, it's literally like trying to fucking, trying to do like endgame boss difficulty FBI raids single-handedly because Applebee's got closed down for COVID restrictions. Okay? It's just like the lightest. It doesn't impact you. It does not impact you in any meaningful capacity. You're a regular American. Donald Trump not cooperating with the authorities and like then, you know, having a raid conducted at his house does not change your life. Does not change your well-being. But because you're so hopped up on the MAGA sauce, because you're so fucking invested in watching Fox News, and it has rotted your brain so crazily that you end up doing the most insane thing you possibly could do, which is try to kill FBI agents, because Donald Trump, again, refused to cooperate with an active investigation into mismanaged documents. It's awesome. This is a perfect story, start to finish, okay? A perfect fucking story.
Okay. All right, Trevor, thank you so much.
I mean, I can't even, I can't get over it. It's just like the most ridiculous thing. Like, it's not like they fucking, I don't know, accidentally flashbanged Barron Trump while he was on the fucking Xbox controllers. You know what I mean? Like, nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. But Republicans collectively were able to drum up so much mania from something that is otherwise like completely innocuous and completely mishandled by Trump, by the way.